You are the righteousness of God.
The most popular definition of righteousness is legalistic. It portrays it as right doing. It presents it as the works done in obedience to the Torah. In this view, righteousness is the ability to keep the Torah. Hence, righteousness is seen as a measure of the ability to do the right thing, the works of the law. This is a Torah-based approach. It's a performance-dependent righteousness. It's about the works of the law. If performance is the determinant of righteousness, no one could be righteous. Abraham would have been accounted as righteous, Romans 4 verse 3. The scripture shows that Abraham's righteousness wasn't a result of his deeds, but it was an outcome of faith. The record shows that Abraham just believed God and it was rendered to him as righteousness. He was justified by faith alone and not by works of the law, Romans chapter 3 verse 28. After all, by then, the Torah wasn't yet there. The people of that time lived without the law. Thus, there exists a righteousness which isn't of works. It's righteousness which comes by believing. It comes by believing that Jesus met the demands of the Torah for you and became righteous, so that through him you can be the righteousness of God. It's righteousness which comes by believing in Christ. In comparison, the sin of Adam caused death to reign. You became a sinner by Adam's sin. You did not choose to be a sinner. You were born in union with the sinful nature of Adam. You never caused yourself to be a sinner, and you cannot make yourself a sinner. Your wrongdoings can't make you a sinner. Your union with the nature of Adam does. In the same way, righteousness came by Jesus Christ. He is the second Adam with a nature of righteousness. The first Adam bore a nature of sin which caused you to be a sinner. That was your identity then. However, the second Adam, Jesus Christ, came with layers of abundance of grace and truth to enable you to connect with his nature and become the righteousness of God. John chapter 1 verse 17. That's your new identity. You are no longer a sinner. You are the righteousness of God. You are not a sinner who is saved by grace. You are the righteousness of God. The sinful nature is not your portion. You have a new nature of righteousness. You are a new creature. The old one passed away. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17. You reign in life through his abundant grace and his free gift of being rendered as just as he is. Romans chapter 5 verse 17. You who wasn't a sinner became sin for you so that you may be the righteousness of God. By your nature of union with Christ, you are the righteousness of God in spite of your good or bad deeds. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17 and verse 21. By the way, I'm not condoning evil, I'm only presenting the gospel of Christ. It's the almost too good to be true news. It's true that you didn't and you can't make yourself righteous. You can't be righteous by your own right deeds, but by the righteousness in you which comes by your union of nature with Christ. God made Christ to be a sin offering for you to have a full share of the righteousness of God. This is the only way to be righteous. It's not of your works, but it's of God's own work. It doesn't come by your merit, but by Christ's merit. It's not an outcome of your deeds. It's a result of the finished work of Christ. As a result, you can't boast in your works except in the finished work of Christ.
For by grace you've been saved through faith, and this is not of your own doing. It is the gift of God, not the result of works, so that no one may boast. For we are what he has made us, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand to be our way of life.
Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8 to 10 NRSV. Yes, my friend, you don't have your own righteousness. You have the righteousness of God. It doesn't depend on what you have done or not done. It entirely relies on your union of nature with Jesus Christ because of his finished work. This reminds me of a song I heard which says that even the moon borrows its light from the sun. In the same way, you also borrow righteousness from Christ, who is the light. You can always keep it as yours for as long as you are in him and he is in you. You are as he is in this world. He is righteous, so are you. It's not something you get because you have managed to keep the commandments or the law of Moses. His righteousness is a gift of grace to all believers.